President Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis coming just 1 month until the presidential election. So how will the Trump campaign stay visible for the remainder of the race? Joining me now, senior advisors to the Trump 2020 campaign and co-authors of the brand new book, Trump, America First, Corey Lewandowski and David Bossie. Corey, David, thank you both for being here. Let's start on the president's side, and then we'll get to the political implications of this. I sat one row in front of you both in the Rose Garden for the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett. You've been around the president recently. Corey, if you would take us inside your own personal considerations as well as kind of the inner circle around the president right now.
You know, Pete, you did have a much better seat than us because you're much more important. So congratulations on that. But look, here's the truth, Pete, and you know this and the listeners should know this. Every time you walk onto the White House complex, you are tested for COVID-19. We were tested on Saturday before that Rose Garden ceremony. I was with the president on Wednesday at a private fundraiser. I was tested before I even walked into the door to the facility. And then I was tested again yesterday here in my home state of New Hampshire. All 3 times I tested negative for COVID-19. And those are the protocols and precautions that the team has had in place to keep the president and the first family safe. So that is what has happened so far. And I'm sure they're going to continue to look at those protocols to make sure that they can continue to keep him safe.
David, the campaign continues, the running the country continues. Will there be any change in the way things operate in the White House for the campaign?
Pete, I think we just went through this with the lockdown in the spring, right? So the campaign had to transition from a traditional campaign that we were doing to a virtual campaign. And now we're going to shift back to that. Bill Stepien and his team are going to be leading that. And Corey and I are going to be standing there helping Bill do this every minute of every day. Every single one of us, every Trump supporter in the country has to pick up the banner and help out right now. You look in Maryland right now, there are people organically showing up in front of Walter Reed, showing their love to this president. It's an amazing thing to see.
Absolutely. Corey, speak to the political side of this. What's the balance? The president's at Walter Reed, has the ability to run the country from there, has a campaign to run. What's your advice on how visible he should be in the coming days?
Well, Pete, we know that the president has a very unique communication style, whether he is in person with a number of thousands of supporters, or he's calling into shows, or he's tweeting, or using a social media activity. I am certain that over the course of the next many days, we will continue to hear from the president. He's put out a few tweets. He put out a video yesterday. So the one thing that is certain is this president's going to continue to communicate directly with the American people. He will continue to give progress updates. I had the chance to speak with Chief of Staff Meadows last night about how the president was doing at Walter Reed. He said he was in great spirits, and he's ready to continue to fight every day for the American people. He's going to beat COVID. He's a warrior, and then he's going to keep fighting for the American people every day.
Yeah. David, along those lines, any reason to believe the debate doesn't happen? Anything going forward that you think changes?
No, the debates are going to happen. There's no reason for them not to. If they have to be pushed, if the second debate has to be pushed a day or two, that's nothing. We need this president to recover. But he's a fighter, and he's a fighter for the American people. That's why he was elected to begin with. And he is such a fighter. He's going to beat COVID and Joe Biden all at the same time. So we're looking forward to the next 30 days of this campaign, of telling the American people the good news of what his accomplishments have been and what he's done to lower their taxes, to make their lives better, to bring jobs back to America. It's a great story. None of that changes. His list of accomplishments is like nothing that we've ever seen. And he's done more in 47 months than Joe Biden's done in 47 years. Nothing about COVID is going to change those facts.
Real quick, Corey, to the particulars, and do you expect virtual events? Do you expect him to call into shows? Anything in particular you can give us a glimpse of?
You know, Pete, it's to be determined, but I do think you're clearly going to see the president calling into shows, doing potentially telephone town hall rallies, continuing to communicate. There is no virus that's going to stop this president from continuing to talk to the American people directly. He's done it so successfully over the last 6 years since the campaign started. This is not going to stop him at all.
All right, guys. Well, speaking of success, you've had some very successful books in the past. Congratulations on Trump, America First. It's available now. Hope folks will check it out. Corey Lewandowski, David Bossie. Thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it.